I had a real good friend, Elmer Dodd. We went fishing one time up on Lake McConnell, and we was going out in his boat, and this gentleman couldn't see very good. And we got caught in a net that was put across it was for a gill net, and we got all wrapped up in the motor, and I'm in the back cutting all the net away from the motor so we could go, and I came to a tag on the net that said Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. They had it there. They was catching fish to test them, and we cut the net all up, and then after we got free, I told Elmer, I said, let's get out of here right now before they come back. I used to help my good friend Cecil Smith. He had a ranch out west of Llano, and I'd go out there, we'd cut brush, helped him run 4 strands of barbed wire a half a mile, tore the old wire down and rolled it up and put up all new wire. Done a lot of work on the other stuff out there to help him.
Did you ever see any snakes out there?
Yeah, I did see a snake. In fact, I shot one, but it turned out to be a bull snake and not a rattlesnake. One time as I was a kid, I was only probably 7 years old, my dad had a big old double-barrel 12-gauge. And back in them days, my folks didn't have any money, and whatever we shot, we ate. And we was out rabbit hunting. My dad seen a rabbit setting, and he said to me, "Can you see the eye on that rabbit?" And I looked and looked. I could not see it. And finally I said, "Yeah, I can see it, Dad." He says, "Okay." He handed me his gun. He says, "Shoot it right in the eye." Well, I shot and blowed the rabbit right in half and ruined the meal. He was not a happy camper.
Did your dad figure out that you could see that eye or not? What'd your dad say?
He told me I didn't tell him right. In fishing at LBJ Lake twice now, I've caught enough fish that I gave our church where we go to enough fish to feed 80 to 85 people in a fish fry twice. And
who fried it up?
Men of the church, not me. I'm not a fryer. I went to a country school from most of the time from kindergarten through 6th grade. It was a one-room school and one teacher for K through 8. And in Michigan, we had a lot of snow. I used to walk over a mile to school, and I never remember ever having a snow day. It seemed like the teacher was there every day, and no snow days in them days.
What kind of clothes did you wear to school when you walked to school in that snow?
Usually snow pants and a coat with boots. And we'd have snowball fights on the way home with all the kids. And there was a couple of girls that were older that lived next door to me. And my other friends or guys, they would go home with me. We'd have snowball fights with these girls all the way home. And they were bigger than we were, so evened out. After I retired from General Motors, we went to, my sister and her husband took me to a baseball game in Tiger Stadium. And I had just retired a week before or something like that. And we went to this baseball game, and a guy hit a line drive. And we was up behind first base, and I stuck my hand up to catch it, and it hit me right in the middle of the hand, and then went about 50 foot up behind us. And the guy that works for the ballpark, he came down there and asked me if I was okay, wanted to know everything was fine. And my wife says, "Well, what would happen if you'd have broke your hand?" And I said, "Well, I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so it doesn't make any difference." And I played a lot of church league and city league baseball, or softball and basketball. Sprained my ankles twice, each one once. missed work, and the one ankle I sprained playing basketball. The doctor didn't put a cast on it. Well, about 3 weeks after I sprained it, it was time to start softball practice. So I went out and I stood by third base with a pair of work boots on, so I could at least be in the field and play. I didn't run or anything, but so I could catch ground balls.
Got hit in the nose.
Got hit in the nose with a softball on a bad bounce one time, and it cost us about the ball game. The ball bases were loaded, and I could have got the guy out at home, but the ball took a bad hop and hit me right in the nose. And it never bothered me for 14 years, and then I had to have my nose operated on. One time I was going up to pick up my boy at basketball practice, and he's in high school, and I picked him up at basketball practice, and I had just stopped at a bank and cashed my paycheck. And while I was at basketball practice, my billfold fell out of my pocket, and I didn't know it, and fell down in the bottom of the bleachers. I think I got home and realized I didn't have it, so I went back, and it was still laying there on the floor. So that was lucky, because my whole paycheck was in it. Then my wife, she is from a big family, 11 kids, and she was the oldest one of them. Back in them days, she tells the story that they had an outhouse, and they had three seater wides beside, and then a lower one for the little kids to sit on. So it was really a 4-seat outhouse, which I have never seen. And the country school I went to had 2 outhouses, one for boys and one for girls, and they always got tipped over on Halloween.
And when's the last time you used an outhouse?
A couple of years ago,
Country
probably.
Bob.
Huh?
It was named Bob.
Yeah, it was named Bob.
Outhouse?
It was a Portal John in Iowa that we went to. But
What about when you got married in your parents' house?
when I got married, my mom and dad still had outside. We had inside water, running water, but we still had a outside toilet.
What year did you guys get married?
We got married in 1956. We was both 19 years old, and this is 61 years later, and we're still going strong. So.
And how long before that first kid came?
15 months. I
Okay.
think 15 months. We had 5 kids. The oldest was born in 57, and the youngest was born in 68. Boys on both ends, and 3 girls in the middle. And give me boys to raise. Girls worry me.